What's up, dude? Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope that you all had a great start to your week. I can't believe it's already Wednesday, honestly. Yeah, I feel like I've done nothing this week. I think today's gonna be a video day. I'm just gonna work purely on videos and whatnot. But I don't really have anything to preface this video with, so we're just gonna jump right into it. Who is Youthforia and what is the controversy? Okay, so this all kind of started mainly last year, but Youthforia is a woman-owned, woman ran. They were seen on Shark Tank.
Hi, I'm Fiona Ko Chan. I'm from San Francisco, California, and I'm here seeking $400,000 for 5% equity in my company.
The brand launched in 2021, so it is still a relatively new brand. It's pretty small, but I want to say you can find their products in Ulta and Sephora, I believe. One of their viral products was this blush that would like change colors based on your pH levels and your skin and whatnot.
This is a blush. So it's from Youthforia. It is called their Bio Blush. It's a chemical reaction that reacts to your skin's unique chemistry for a soft glow. We're gonna try this on the cheeks and the lips. I'm not entirely sure if the oil itself is actually green or if it's just the bottle creating that illusion. But when I look at the doe foot, it does seem to be that the liquid itself is a little bit green too. So let's try it. So, oh my gosh, it turns pink like instantaneously. That's really pretty. It's very soft, but you can see that like right when it touches my skin, it changes color. Feels more like a serum than an oil. I was a little bit worried about it feeling more like a lip gloss, but it does not feel anywhere near as heavy as a lip gloss. So here it is on the cheeks. I think it looks really natural because it's semi-translucent. It looks like an actual flush that your cheeks would create. If you do want a little bit more of an intense, punchy look, you can build it up. Let's try it on the lips. That's really bright. It's really punchy on the lips. It's even more intense on my lips. Not really a pink lip person, but I think it looks really nice on the cheeks. I'm excited to play around with it more and see how it performs on top of foundations and tinted moisturizers. Because it's an oil, I was a little bit nervous to try it on top of foundation for the first time. So have you used this before? And if you put it on top of makeup, does it cause any type of lifting, or do you find it meshes well with other face products?
You've seen other brands do that kind of thing too, like lip glosses and whatnot. The color changes based on like what your lips are like, and I've tried those before and they taste disgusting. So that's personally not something for me, but it is a very cool, very fun idea. But right now I just really think it's very overdone. But the main controversy happened last year when they released their date night skin tint, and there were only 15 shades in that line.
We just launched our pre-order for Youthforia Date Night. This is a foundation you can sleep in. You guys take our shade matching quiz. It's really accurate. It's like a 90-second quiz. It's super easy to use. If you complete it, you guys get an exclusive discount for our pre-order. We also have this blog on our website that kind of explains how our shade families work. This is a 15 shade foundation, and what I really want to do with our foundation range was create these really flexible shades. I just noticed that a lot of times when I was shopping for foundation, it was always like a cool undertone, neutral, or warm undertone, and I found that a lot of shades were either like too cool or too warm, so either too pink or too orange or too yellow. So what I did differently was I created a mostly neutral shade range. This is great if you're someone who just wears a lot of sunscreen. So this is the way that I kind of think about our shade undertones. We have neutral cool. This is great if you're also a neutral, but let's say you have a little bit of this pink or blue undertone, so you're like a little bit of both. It has enough flex so it works for both. And then on the neutral warm side and neutral golden side, a lot of brands I see they just call it warm. What we did was we split it up into two different categories. Neutral warm is more of like a peachy orange undertone, and neutral golden is more of like a golden yellow undertone. Again, if you're neutral-ish, you can kind of fit into neutral warm or neutral golden. For example, for me, I'm actually like kind of like a neutral warm undertone, but if I did warm undertone, it might look too orange or too yellow on me. And then true neutrals are my favorite shades that we have. This basically covers all the neutral shade ranges, but a little bit of the cool and a little bit of the warm. I also wear a true neutral shade depending on the day. And this is great if you're someone who great if you think that foundations are too orange or too pink for you. If you are an olive undertone, our true neutrals will probably work the best for you. So for example, these are 4 different girls with slightly different undertones. But in this picture, everyone's wearing half a face of the shade 360. Even though they're a little bit more of a reddish undertone, more of like a neutral peachy yellowish undertone, The same shade is still the perfect shade. This is what I mean when I say like our true neutrals have the most flex. Of course, go to our website. This is a super easy quiz to do. If you guys are doing this quiz, I really suggest just looking at the skin color. You don't have to worry about like the hair color or the eye color. And if you guys need help, you guys can email us.
Now, I would like to say, kind of playing devil's advocate just a little bit here, because they are a relatively new, smaller brand, it would be hard to put money into having a wide range of shades. Like Fenty Beauty is one that I've heard has a ton of different shade ranges and colors, and like there's a lot of different tints based on like your undertone and whatnot, which makes a lot of sense. But keep in mind, Fenty Beauty is a much larger brand and they have a little bit more of a reputation. They've been around for longer. So I understand where they could, Youthforia could argue like, hey, we're a new brand, like, you know, give us time. We need to develop this sort of stuff. We need to make money in order to put more money into that, you know, product. But honestly, they released 15 shades.
Do you guys remember the Youthforia foundation like scandal? Sorry, I don't know what to call it, but anyway, so this Youthforia foundation came out and they were hyping it up so much. And the brand owner had talked about how she had spent so much money on the formula, but then like couldn't spend more money to put more shades out. Like this shade range is horrendous. And then she tried to damage control by saying like, oh, I just wanted to like test out the formula, see like if people liked it before I added new shades. But it was August of last year when these came out.
Hardly any for people of color. And I mean anybody, like any sort of darker skin tone that you have, there was like no shades for them. And it's like, I don't know why brands still even 2023 think that, you know, it's just sort of a 1 to 3 shades, you know, do it, that they'll fit all skin tones and whatnot. That is so far from the truth. Some people have a warmer undertone, some are cooler, some are a little bit more neutral. So it's like, you're telling me you aren't able to put a little bit more time into those shades. And like, if you have 15 shades, okay, make 7 of them for pretty light complexion people like myself, and then do 7 darker, and then I don't know, maybe try releasing like 14 shades or 16. But like, there were ways that they could have made it more inclusive for people of color, and they just didn't. So that was kind of what started this whole issue now this year as well. Now, the owner of the company, she did come out with an apology video for last year's issue with not having enough of a shade range.
Intention to launch this as a proof of concept, see if people even liked the base formula.
You are on Shark Tank.
Announced that we were going to extend our shades of foundation on the day that I launched our foundation. In a lore article,
I commented under
But then that brings us to this year. They released another shade, and I'm just gonna play you a video so you guys can visually see what that shade is.
And just recently, a singular new shade has come out. I took this from Tony Bravo's video. Her content is amazing. Go watch her video. But like, this is the new shade. And this is the second darkest shade. So this is like the darkest shade they had to begin with. And then they added this. She really just said, here y'all go, stop complaining. Throughout this whole thing last year, I really loved the internet coming together saying like, we're not going to buy your foundation because there are not enough shades for everybody. And I'm pretty sure it flopped because I did not hear anything about it. And genuinely, like, it's so ironic because it could have been good. Like, the idea around it was good. It was like foundation you can sleep in, like, theoretically, like, it's just like doesn't clog your pores, like, it's good for your skin. But then this, and we were like, we're not having it, and like, we're still not having it. What is that? Not that shades that dark shouldn't exist, but like the jump, like it's just so blatantly like incompetence. I just saw her video earlier on TikTok and I wanted to talk about it because it's just a constant issue and like brands just think they can get away with this.
which side of my face is the black face paint or the Youthforia foundation. You can't tell. You know why? Tar in a bottle. This is jet black face paint, and this is the darkest shade of the Youthforia Date Night foundation. This is black face paint. This is the darkest shade of the Youthforia foundation. A few months ago, I tried the darkest shade of the Youthforia foundation. This is what it looked like on me. I'm gonna apply some of the foundation on this side of my face so you guys can see. Let's just go ahead and try to blend this out, you guys. Enough. Who is that color? I'm gonna wipe this off and let me put the paint all over my face. I'm literally just going in with the face paint. We're gonna do some painting and let me just go ahead and blend it out with the brush. This is the darkest shade of the Youthforia foundation. This is black face paint. Sometimes it's okay to say, hey, maybe my brand is not made for complexion. I'm gonna squeeze a pump of this on my forehead just right out the bottle so you guys can see that I'm literally not joking. We're gonna do a big blend of this, you guys. When we say that we want you guys to make shades for us, we don't mean to go to the lab and ask for minstrel show black. What we mean is to take the browns that you have made, create undertones, and do what you need to do in the lab so it's a darker shade of brown. This is the darkest shade, shade 600, and as you guys can see in the bottle, literally jet black. The shade right next to it, shade 590. This is what it looks like in the bottle. Here is shade 600. You guys, there could be like 10 more shades in between these two shades. In addition to that, when we go to the actual website and we look at the swatch, not only is the swatch online literally jet black, there's literally only 4 or 5 shades for people that actually have dark complexions. Not really for black people, for being honest. Not only in 2024 is this so disgusting and disrespectful, but this needs to be pulled off the shelves.
So yeah, it's essentially just black. There's no undertone. It doesn't have a yellowish, undertone, a bluish undertone, nothing. It's purely just black. So then on February 29th though, they did put out a TikTok saying, oh yeah, we're looking for darker people of color to model our shade, our new, shade that we're coming out with. And it's like, yes, there definitely are gonna be people that would work for, but there's also a lot of people that it won't work for, and that's probably why you are unable to find people to model this new skin tint.
I'm super stressed because I need to find a model for our darkest shade of Youthforia foundation. We reached out to modeling agencies in Miami, New York, and LA, and it was really hard to find models for our 4 darkest shades. So a month ago, we held a casting call to just look for real people, real skin. We found matches for most of our shades, except for our darkest shade. For reference, this is Youthforia's darkest shade versus Fenty's darkest shade. So now I'm on the other side of the world, and I'm street casting, which means that I'm going up to people and asking them if they ever thought about modeling. I'm such an introvert, so of course I dragged my husband along, and we are literally going to malls and cafes and asking people, have you ever thought about modeling? I'm a little bit nervous because we only have a few days to launch this, and we've already been ghosted a few times. It is launch week, so I'm super stressed. I hope we can find a model in the next couple days.
I just find it very hard to believe that it is now 2024 and that was the absolute best that you could do. There's been tons and tons of videos about this topic, and I think it's really good that people are talking about it. And I think that we as consumers are just realizing, like, okay, you guys, be more inclusive. Like, if you want to say you're an inclusive brand and that there's shades for everybody, make shades for everybody. Honestly, I don't think it would be that hard. And then a lot of people are showing the jump from their darkest shade that they had last year to the new jet black shade that they released this year, and it is quite a jump.
This is the second to darkest shade of the Youthforia foundation in shade 590. Let's try it. We're gonna go in with a pretty good pump. Clean brush, let's go blend this out. Coming in close so you guys can virtually see. As you guys can see, this foundation leans very red on me. In the summertime, not only would this not work, also this is typically not a foundation shade I would wear. This side of my face, I'm gonna go into the foundation that I typically always reach for, which is the About Face Beauty foundation, and it doesn't have a pump, so I'm gonna go in with a lot of it. Clean brush, and let's go ahead and blend this out. This is the About Face Beauty foundation that I would say is my true match, and this is 590 from Youthforia. I'm a little bit cooler than 590, guys, which means Youthforia does not even make my shade. This is About Face. That's how a shade match should be. But this leans a bit red on me. This is shade 590. This is shade 600. How on earth did we go from this shade to this shade? There's no undertone, no depth, no dimension, and that's a problem. It goes far beyond it just being damn near black. I feel like we could have sat down with 590 a little bit longer, tweaked some undertones, added some more depth, added some more range, added a few more shades, and it would have ate. All that being said, obviously there are darker people than me. That was never something that I argued. However, I know that when it comes to the end of the spectrum of tone and color and complexion, I am of one of the darkest. I'm comparing the shade to black face paint because the shade literally lacks color at all because it's flat. It would not complement any skin tone, let alone the one that they're marketing it for. As you can see in these pictures, these don't even match the model that they're putting it on. Prior to that, the swatch page with all of the models literally just had a blank swatch of shade 600, and all of the other shades had models. So was this shade even tested on dark skin, or did you just lazily put it out there? When I thought it couldn't get worse, the model that she actually decided to put on there, she street casted in Dubai, swatched both of the foundations on this model, and of course the shades didn't match because 590 was too warm and 600 was literally black. And then she went to go get pictures from a Passport Center photo booth, and use that picture as a swatch reference. So
but the creator that I showed previously comparing the new Youthforia skin tint to just black face paint, I don't know why I couldn't say that. Black face paint is Gloria. She does have very dark skin, but she still has an undertone. So yeah, that's basically the controversy once again surrounding Youthforia and their absolute flop of a skin tint line. You know, somebody else made a TikTok and they were like, okay, now imagine they, say they only released 3 shades for people with a much lighter skin complexion like mine. I'm very white, especially because, after winter and stuff, I'm like pasty. I'm like transparent. Say they only released 3 shades for people like me, and then they were like, okay, people are upset because we didn't release enough. So then they essentially just like released a white face paint. Like, we would be very upset about that. So I think it's totally justified that people of color are upset as well over this. This is absolutely unreal, and I'm very, very interested to see how the brand tries to recover from all this backlash. I don't know how they're so blind to this issue. Like, you guys are a cosmetics company and you've seen other brands make this same exact mistake, and now you just made it too. Great. Okay, cool. Glad we are learning absolutely nothing. But that is the controversy around Youthforia at the moment. I'm very curious to see how this unfolds, and I will be doing an update video. But that is it for me today. I hope that you guys have a fantastic Wednesday, and I will see you all on Friday in my next video. Bye, guys.